The Prime Minister and Alberta's Premier were all smiles, giddy as they inked a deal paving the way for a new pipeline from Alberta to BC's coast.
This agreement includes a clear path to the construction of an over 1 million barrel per day Indigenous co-owned bitumen pipeline to Asian markets.
One province over, backstopped by much of his caucus, Premier Eby repeated his months-long pushback to the plan.
We need to make sure that this project doesn't become an energy vampire with all of the variables that have yet to be fulfilled. No proponent, no route, no money, no First Nation support.
If all goes smoothly, construction could start as soon as 2029. But there's several sticking points, most notably,
if there's not a private sector proponent, there won't be a pipeline.
There are various other conditions in the Memorandum of Understanding that, if met, carve out exemptions to the tanker ban. They include Indigenous co-ownership, consultation, and support. Coastal First Nations maintain it will oppose the plan with every tool it has, including possible court challenges.
We will never allow oil tankers in our coastal waters because an oil spill could destroy our way of life.
You know, the bribes that are being brought forward by Carney and Smith et al. Are meaningless.
Carney says the deal also calls for BC's support and significant economic benefits for the province. Premier Eby, excluded from the negotiations, unleashed his frustration that it puts other energy plans in jeopardy and distracted from projects such as a Saskatchewan-owned potash plant that went to Washington State, not BC.
Really pissed me off that we lost the Nutrien deal, because I think that was entirely avoidable.
Although a poll released Thursday shows a majority of British Columbians support a new pipeline, the Premier maintains First Nation support is key.
I will always defend BC's interests, and defending BC's interests includes defending the oil tanker ban.
The deal, one that's pitting neighboring provinces against each other, calls for an application to the major province's office by Canada Day.
And Rob joins us live from Victoria. And Rob, this deal is already having political fallout in Ottawa.
Well, that's right, Mei Jung. We saw today, hours after the announcement, a former Environment Minister, Stephen Guilbeault, who's in cabinet as a culture minister, resigned his cabinet post in protest to this. He's been very outspoken in his opposition to this pipeline. That may be the first of other such moves. I know locally here, the BC Greens, I asked them today what they would do if the NDP ultimately acquiesced and somehow this deal did go ahead or get agreed to, and they said it would be very difficult for them to keep their agreement with the NDP if there was an oil pipeline that went ahead under their watch. So expect a lot more ramifications as this thing moves forward. Mei Jung.
Yep, we'll be watching for any more political fallout. Thank you, Rob.